All righty, well, we're going to go ahead and get started. I want to start by thanking you all for coming out in the middle of your workday. I want to make sure that I give glory and honor to God, who is the head of my life and without whom none of this would be possible. My name is Clifford Brown, and I am the president and CEO of Woodborn, which is a family of companies committed to changing people's lives via real estate development. We are driven by our passion of building lives, communities, and wealth. You ever know you are exactly where you're supposed to be? I do, because 5 years ago, we set out to do this work. We were hit with COVID. In that time, I've lost both of my parents. We faced innumerable challenges, and yet here we are today, celebrating Hubbard Richard and the Mexicantown Business District. We're excited to introduce you to the Brooke on Bagley, which is 78 units of residential living. It includes 1-bedroom studios, 2 bedrooms, 1,200 square feet of retail space, and lest I forget that we have 16 units of affordable housing at 80% annual median income. We have a number of amenities which I'm not going to name off. We could talk bike storage, we could talk the parcel room, we could talk about CJ's Lounge, which my son is using to hold me hostage to get money off of me. I want to make sure that I express my thanks and my gratitude to Hubbard Richard and the Mexicantown Business District, particularly the Hubbard Richard Resident Association, SDBA, Congress of Communities. I could go on and on, but we are thankful that you have allowed us to come into your neighborhood, that you have trusted us with this investment, and we pray that we have honored it at every turn. We are committed to the work that we are doing. We are committed to this neighborhood, and really the promise of what we are doing and what we want to do really begins today. It doesn't end today. I also want to thank all the trades and some of the trades that are out here. We have the coolest construction site in the state. I mean, you come out here and you hear all kinds of music. You'll see a variety of diversity, and everybody is pitching together and working together to build something special for this neighborhood and for this city. And that really starts with Todd Saxey and Saxey Construction for the team that they brought out here, the people that they brought out here, for Gensler. I also want to make sure that I thank Elton, who did the beautiful mural that you all see when you come inside. And I need to make sure that I acknowledge Studio BB and Collectors Anonymous, because what we committed to do was to do design that offered appreciation without appropriation. And it's an extremely fine line to walk where you don't become a caricature. And so they have helped us and assisted us in bringing the vision to life in a way that recognizes the neighborhood that existed before we were here, that was strong, that was before we were here, and allows us to honor that neighborhood and the work that they've done. I want to thank all the partners who have worked with us on this site. We are greatly appreciative of you, and I want to make sure that I stop and I thank my team, because you see me up here, and it's cool to be able to stand up here and to talk to you all, but I don't exist without the wonderful people on my team who are working to make sure that this happens. This is absolutely not about me, and I promise you to every member of my team, I remain your humble servant. I also want to make sure that I recognize my wife, who has maybe sacrificed more than anybody to make this happen. I want to acknowledge CJ, who the lounge is named after and who somehow negotiated all the vending in the building. And I want to acknowledge Brooke, who the building is named after. And I think that it is a fine recognition of the person who she is, and it reflects our commitment to this neighborhood, her strength, her beauty, and her passion. And last of all, I want to make sure that I acknowledge my brother Harry. We have been through it thick and thin, and like I said, when we started this project, we had both parents, and we're coming to the end of this project, and neither are here anymore. But our parents would be extremely proud, not just of the work that we have done here, but of how you have held me up through the most difficult of times. We are grateful to be here. We are committed to the city of Detroit. We are committed to this neighborhood, and this is just the start of the work that we're going to do in the city. And the last thing I want to just make sure I say is, and I said this to him privately, we are largely here because of this mayor. And I don't want to give that any short thought or any short words. He has been aggressive in making sure that opportunities are equal for all people who want to do work in the city of Detroit. And I am extremely grateful for you. I'm extremely grateful for his team. It's not just him. It is the people in the offices. It is the people that come out here day to day, the inspectors, everybody who we ask to support us in the work that we do. Detroit is the greatest city in the world to do work in. We're excited to do work here, and we're going to continue to do work here. With that, I'm going to bring the mayor up.
All right. Well, let's give a big hand to Cliff Brown. Didn't this turn out beautifully? When Cliff says he was meant to be at this point, I believe this. He has been placed at the point of the intersection of Corktown and Mexicantown at this point in our city's history. And it's pretty remarkable what's been happening in the neighborhood. And we've gone about this very intentionally. When we announced that Ford was going to renovate Michigan Central, bring 2,500 people into that building, take the new lab building and bring in 100 startups, we did not see it as a plan to build the Michigan Avenue corridor. We knew this site is the bridge to Southwest Detroit. And we saw it as much as contributing to the connection of Southwest to Corktown and to downtown. And so when Cliff Brown came to me and said, I want to put housing here with a mix of market rate and affordable housing right in this point, I said, this is exactly what we need. And we want them to happen at the same time, because too many times in this country, you have seen developments like this force out people who had been there, force out people of lower income, and become an area where it is just for the wealthy. We're building 500 new affordable units in the area of the train station, and the first 16 are being kicked off right here, because we're going to have people of all incomes in all neighborhoods, and as this area comes back, it's going to be the kind of community that we want. Cliff bought into that vision from day one. He's from this community, and you didn't have to explain anything to him. He had his own vision, and I have to say, the speed that he and Todd Saxe have built this building is remarkable. Some things in this town seem to take forever. This one seemed like it went up overnight. And so congratulations to Julie Schneider. This is part of the $1 billion of new affordable housing Detroit's built in the next 5 years. And at this point, I want to introduce my partner who has supported us every step of the way on that $1 billion in affordable housing, Councilmember Coleman Young.
Let's give it up for the mayor one more time, everybody. I'm going to keep this very short and brief because a lot of great things have already been said, but homes are not just bricks and beams, they're hopes and dreams. And this is the fulfillment of a lot of people who have been looking for a home for a very long time. There are a lot of folks out here in the city of Detroit who all they need is a second chance, somebody to believe in them again, somebody to just help them and go the extra mile for them. That's what this represents. We did not get here on our own. This is a culmination of the work, of the dedication, of the grit, of the sacrifice of everyone that is here today. There's a great quote that says, when love and skill come together, expect a masterpiece. And I just want to say to everybody here, thank you for building the masterpiece that is the Brooke today, tomorrow, and for generations to come. Thank you so much.
All righty, we talked about the amazing work of the people who are on the mayor's team, and so we're going to bring up Julie Snyder, who is the Director of Housing and Revitalization, and who, without her, this just does not happen. Julie?
Good afternoon. It's wonderful to be here today to celebrate the opening of this really beautiful building in one of Detroit's best neighborhoods. I'm a little biased. I live a few blocks away from here. So on behalf of the department, I am thrilled to be here today to celebrate the opening of the Brooke on Bagley. I remember when Cliff started work on this project several years ago. At that point, he was just completing the Co in West Village, which was a 12-unit development, and I believe his first ground-up mixed-use development he had completed in the city of Detroit. So to be here today to celebrate the opening of a 78-unit building and see the growth of Woodborn is just something to celebrate and lift up, and one of the many reasons we're excited to be here today. They had a vision, Woodborn had a vision to bring new housing to this development as Michigan Central was being redeveloped. I think there were many people who wondered how this vision of this neighborhood was going to be realized. And your timing is truly impeccable. It's critical that new housing be delivered when we have major economic development initiatives happen, such as Michigan Central. It increases the supply of housing in a neighborhood, decreases upward pressures on rents, and importantly in this development, adds additional affordable housing units. And that's why we're so committed to this neighborhood, along with this development and the others that are in progress here, is the critical need for affordable housing in this neighborhood. Important to this development's success is a relationship with the Strategic Neighborhood Fund. So the Strategic Neighborhood Fund, or SNF, was created to catalyze development in commercial corridors in Detroit. This, in the Southwest Werner corridor, was one of the first of the 3 SNF developed neighborhoods. Along with catalyzing development, part of the focus of SNF is to help locally based developers, help them grow as well. And I think being here today, we see a wonderful example of the impact that SNF can have, and I know Invest Detroit will talk about that in more detail later. But wonderful to see all of you out here today to celebrate the opening of this development, and congratulations to Woodborn today.
So one of the partners in this project, who I did not mention earlier, and I just want to make sure that I acknowledge, and who's going to come up here and speak now, is Councilmember Gabby, as I affectionately call her. By partner, what I mean is that at any point in time that we called her and said, this is what we're looking to do, we're not perfect in the work that we want to do, but we want to be better, we want to be sensitive to the community. She listened, and it was not an abrasive relationship. It was, here's how you need to stretch. And that's what we need more of in this city. So I want to bring up Councilmember Gabby.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I promise you we're almost done. And Director Schneider was right. This is the best district. It is the one that I have the honor of representing. As has been mentioned, my name is Gabriela Santiago Romero. You can feel free to call me Gabby. And I am the proud council member here. I am here honored and thrilled to celebrate 2 of my favorite things, which is housing and equitable development. And the Brooke is a primary example of how we do this right. It has been mentioned that this is going to bring units here to the neighborhood, and we are thinking very intentionally about how we're developing the city of Detroit. This is going to be in the shadows of the Michigan Central Station, across the street from our beloved Honeybee Markets. It's going to be a quick bike ride, walk, run from our Southwest Greenway right into our Detroit riverfront. The Brooke on Bagley is the perfect location for housing around such beautiful amenities that myself and so many Detroiters already get to enjoy. So I'm excited for more residents to soon call this place home, to have access to the on-site and off-site amenities. I'm excited about the mixed-use development that we have out front. And Cliff is right. I am someone, I hope that this has been ringing true. I will always push us to be better. I will always push us to listen to residents. I will always say this is what they're asking for. And quite frankly, it makes developments better. It makes these projects better. Having insights from residents saying, let there be a space for us to sit outside and eat and drink from the cafe that we're gonna have here. Let us be able to see some beautiful, much needed storefronts in this building. This is from direct insights from residents. So thank you so much to all the residents that I see here for your advocacy and for leading all of our work. It's how we make things happen. So thank you all so much for your advocacy. Thank you to all of the partners, as has been mentioned, that have been a part of this work. So this would not have been possible if it wasn't for Rod Hardeman as well and the Ibera Fund for their commitment to supporting Black and Brown developers here in the city of Detroit. So thank you all, Cliff, Rod, the mayor, Director Snyder, MEDC, and Invest Detroit for your partnership in this. I will always be happy to work together with you as well. Thank you all so much for the celebration, and with that, I'll turn it back over to Cliff.
All right, so with that, I'm going to bring up my partner in crime. Every single deal that we have done, every single investment in the city that we have made has been in partnership with Invest Detroit. And so with that, I'm going to bring up Kiana Cohen, who we always say, we have a deal. And she says, here we go, Cliff. And she says, how are we going to make it work? And we say, we don't know, but we'll figure it out together. And painstakingly, she works with us to figure out a way to make it happen. So I'm going to bring Kiana.
Good afternoon. As Cliff mentioned, development is hard work. It's a heavy lift. He mentioned 5 years ago he started working on this project and all the trials personally and professionally that happened along the way. And what most of you just see is dirt moving and then this beautiful obstacle here, which is fabulous because it does bring attainable housing. It does bring affordable housing. It does continue to foster development in this community. But Cliff, let me say to you, congratulations. Congratulations to Sydney, CJ, and Brooke for all of your sacrifice that you've made. Congratulations to the Hunterbird Farm community. Congratulations to all the residents of the city of Detroit. But Cliff, I'm going to say to you personally, thank you. Thank you for being a leader. Thank you for being trailblazing for young Black professionals that are looking to get into this line of work. They may not even know that real estate development is an opportunity, but to see another Black face showing that opportunity is huge. So Cliff, it goes beyond the brick and mortars, the impact that you've made here in this city and across this region. So I say thank you to you. As a representative of Invest Detroit, we envision an economic future for this city that is really based on measuring revitalization by, one, the prosperity of the residents, but also the ability for the entrepreneurs to compete, to flourish, and to reinvest locally. And so I say to you, we are people first. People that are aspiring through our economic investment, through Invest Detroit, to focus on supporting small businesses, real estate projects like this, creating and fostering jobs through our commercial and industrial work, as well as assisting and investing with high growth, high tech all throughout the state. And so I also thank the team at Invest Detroit that is doing the hard work and lifting and helping us to foster that vision, but also the partners, because it takes this village. It takes the power of we, the city, the county, the state, other funders through our different funds, through their other resources. And I do want to acknowledge the Strategic Neighborhood Fund, which helped to grow this, as well as the Ibera Fund, who invested in Cliff and his developing his and growing his firm. And so I say to all of our partners that are represented here, as well as those that are not, thank you and congratulations.
So as I prepare to bring Michelle up, one of the things that I failed to mention is that this project has 15 different layers of financing, 15 layers. And this project does not happen without our funders. And of all things for a developer to forget to thank, how do you forget to thank your funders? So I want to make sure that I thank every single funder, every single investor for your patience in working with us as we brought this building to light. And with that, I'm going to bring up Michelle.
Thank you. So as the chief place officer, I can say there's a lot to love about a project like this. Certainly the housing for workforce for Detroiters that's being created here, some of the space for small business, sitting in the kind of the footprint of innovation. One of the things I think that we, and certainly there's plenty of innovators over there, right? Some of the, I think, really at the hub for the state of that. But so a type of innovation I don't think we talk about much is the stamina and creativity it takes to pull off a project like this. 15 layers of financing, I think that says it all. Gives me a little bit of a headache thinking about it, but to have the vision and stamina to make it through that process, through things like COVID, and really to have it placed almost perfectly timed with the other types of investment in people and projects. And that's what we talk about when we look at economic development investment at the state, investing in people, places, and projects. And this project with this team is certainly one of the shining examples of that success, and look forward to many more to come in this area. There's just a lot to love here. So thank you, congratulations to the team, and my continued thanks to the partners at the City of Detroit for having the opportunity to invest in projects like this.
All righty, so I'm going to bring up next Rod Hardeman from the Ebiera Fund, and I'm gonna steal a little bit of your thunder and just say this was the first project under that fund, and we are grateful to be partners with them on this.
Good afternoon. It's a special day for our team. When we envisioned Ebiera several years ago, but launched 2 years ago, the whole point was how do we think about growing and scaling Black and brown development firms? How do we provide firms that have all the talent they need, have all the dreams they need, all the vision they need, but maybe just need some support from a capital perspective, but not just to finish a project, but to finish a project but also grow a firm so they can have systemic impact on their neighborhoods and communities in which they reside. And to be here today with Woodborn and Cliff in particular shows the example and the power of what that means. That if you could feed it, if you don't just give a car just a little bit of gasoline, but if you fill the tank, the distance they can travel is unstoppable, is uncalculable. So on behalf of our team, and our partners at Kresge and Invest Detroit, who helped us co-found this vision. We're proud of you, Cliff. We're happy to be here with you. But if you really want to know what this project is about and what Woodborn is about and what Cliff's about, just look around here. Look at the myriad of stakeholders, residents, business leaders from all parts of the ecosystem are here to support this. This means this is a firm and a man of mission, purpose, and commitment and dedication. This work takes perseverance, it takes strength, and he represents all of that. So we are proud to stand with him, and we will always stand with him. Thank you.
I'm not saying much after that. I'm just gonna bring Damon up.
I get to follow all that. Thank you. I'm Damon Hodge. I'm with Capital Impact Partners. We were one of the funders on this project, and so I want to start off by telling everyone how beautiful of a day today is. It's a little cloudy, it's a little cool, unseasonably for June, but anytime we get to come out and celebrate an accomplishment like the building that stands behind me, it's a beautiful day. And so I want to thank Cliff and his team for maintaining and holding on to the vision and seeing this project to fruition. I also want to thank the mayor's office, HRD, and all of the offices within the city of Detroit that stood behind Cliff as he looked to move this vision forward up to this point today. And then I also want to echo one thing that was said earlier, and we've heard it mentioned that we have 16 units of housing that's considered affordable to those earning under 80% AMI. Now, I think that's an important thing to celebrate, and I think within that celebration is the fact that as you walk through this building today and you go through and you look at the quality of the construction, the amenities in the property, and the overall packaging and what we're looking at here today, this does not look like what people think of when you say affordable mixed-use housing. This looks like high-quality, market-rate, attainable housing for the people in this environment in the city of Detroit. We need more of this type of development that really shines positively on our city, on the neighborhood, and that tenants will be proud to call home. So I take my hat off and give kudos to Cliff and his team for having developed this project that with these sorts of features and amenities and quality that create this type of living environment for the tenants who are going to occupy the space. I also would like to thank Cliff for, you've heard a number of things about his vision, understanding where he is today in the right place. Some of the work that Cliff does is with our equitable development initiative, serving as one of the lead sponsors and mentors for that group, where we look to train and give training and teaching to the next generation of upcoming developers of color looking to make an impact in the city of Detroit. So I want to thank Cliff for his participation there, for sharing his vision, his expertise, and also, I see some of them out here today. All of us can attain this with this type of dedication, hard work, and focus. So Cliff, again, thank you for serving as an example. Thank you for creating this vision for others to hopefully follow in your footsteps, and congratulations to you and your team and to all the residents of the neighborhood who will get to serve and get to take advantage of this beautiful facility now that it's done. Thank you.
All righty. So we have talked about the fact that we do this for the neighborhood, for the people in the neighborhood. And so the next person I want to bring up, which is Ray Lozano, is not just a pillar of this community, but all the work that he does smiling. And I cannot express enough that when you do this work, how difficult it can be, how much you can get beat down, and to have somebody who always is genuinely smiling, it legitimately fills your spirit and your soul. And so with that, I'm going to bring up my friend Ray Lozano.
Good afternoon. Need my Cliff Notes here. Mayor Duggan, Councilwoman Gabby, Councilman Young, friends and neighbors. As a young boy, I spent several years growing up at my aunt's home on 18th Street, just a stone's throw from here. Southwest Detroit has always had much to offer and experience, but this plot of land never seemed to hold much use and promise other than as a hill and as a vantage point to watch the trains roll in. No one would ever imagine this piece of property producing a multi-use development such as this. I must give Cliff exceptional credit as he had the vision to develop this plot of land, and most importantly, in the manner that he accomplished this, by talking with countless residents and business owners alike, and by attending numerous community meetings, and most importantly, listening to us. These developments are never easy and rarely without criticism, but Cliff and Woodborn Partners, I have to say congratulations and felicidades on a job seamlessly well done. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
All righty, so what we're going to do now is we're going to prepare to cut the ribbon, but what are just a couple of logistical things just really quickly. So we are grateful for everybody that's here. Our team is here, fully here to assist you. Every single person that wants to tour the building will have the opportunity to tour the building. Find somebody in a Woodborn shirt, but we'll also be stocked up right here, ready to take you around the building. You'll be able to see the first and second floors. You'll also be able to see 6 of the different units, all the common area spaces. Honeybee has graciously provided the food, so please get some chicken wings and some tamales. We blended the culture there. You see what we did there. But you are free to hang out as long as you want. This is not just our space. This is your space. We are grateful to have you here. And just the last quick point, and I promise I'll be quick here. I can't touch on every single person here who has meant something to me individually. But just to give you just a couple of just quick points. So Rich Bardelli, who is sitting there in the second row, who was the project manager for Michigan Central, he and I worked together years ago at Ford Land, and we laughed because we used to play one-on-one, and it would take us 2 hours to get to 7. But who would imagine we would have been here? Todd, who years ago said that if you partner with me on the Scott, I'll be your partner forever, and who has honored that. John Davis, who when we were working on the Scott said, You're crazy for what you're trying to do. I don't believe in your vision, but I believe in you, so let's go. And I look at Dave Dunn, who's one of my first bosses, who was my first boss at Ford. And just very briefly, at the time that I was there, they made a change in how they were going to hire people, and they significantly reduced their hiring. And I was supposed to present for the CFO of Ford Credit, and she couldn't make it. And he went to her office, and he fought for me, and he said, this guy has worked his butt off on this presentation, allow him to present. And that was the reason I got my job. That was the reason that I'm in Detroit. And so there are a million stories like that. Randy, who, when we went after this RFP, said, you know, you've lost 8 straight RFPs. I'm going to go in with you. I'm going to make it clear that this is your project, it's your project alone, but there won't be any questions of capacity. I could go around this room and talk about the countless number of people who have fought for us. So when you see me standing up here, it is not me standing up here. It is a community. It is a nation of people who are all rowing in the same direction to make this city better, to make this nation better, and we are grateful for all of you. And so with that, we're going to gather to cut the ribbon, and we'll start the tours.